for the people who came here through like Discord and whatnot, there was, like I said, there was some. I wanted to try doing something different for streams, and like if there was like an interesting video that I saw on like Splatoon or something, I would react to it because I wanted to give like reaction stuff a try because I want to like branch out my channel a little bit. So I'm like, okay, let me try this let me try this once and see how it goes, you know. But yeah, I'm just gonna turn that on. So yeah, this is what it is. Why I don't want male idols in Splatoon, or why I don't want male Splatoon idols. I don't swing one way or the other. I mean, I think male idols would be a cool addition, but you know, I can kind of see both sides in a way. But I showed this video to my friends, and apparently they all say it's like really bad. So I'm like, okay, what am I getting myself into? But yeah, let's look at this.
With Splatoon 3's Grand Festival over, people have inevitably started discussing a fourth installment in the franchise.
Yeah.
And the hot topic on Twitter right now, or at the very least when I was writing this script, is having male idols in the franchise. A bit of clarification here. In the Splatoon sense of the word, idol is used to represent a character of the game's main musical group. All of the members of the Now or Never 7 are idols, even though the Squid Sisters are the only ones who fit into the traditional definition of Japanese idols. And yes, we do have a—
Are they, though? I mean, if we're talking in terms of ethnicity, like, Shiver is also Japanese as well. Wouldn't she count? Right? Shiver's based on Japanese, right? Like, her whole thing is Japanese. She's like
a male idol, Big Man. And I have And yes, we do have a male idol, Big Man. And I have absolutely no qualms with him. I'd even say he's my favorite of Deep Cut, for his level-headedness, fangirl moments, and goofy choreography. But what Twitter is concerned with, and what I want to discuss today, are Inkfish idols. A male character who is either an Inkling or an Octoling in the fourth installment's main music group. And the inclusion of such is something I am rather against. My opposition comes not from a game perspective, but from a fandom perspective. A common phrase tutted around online is having a male idol won't stop the franchise from being female-led, and I totally agree with this sentiment.
I guess, like, the cast consists of mainly females. Part of it is that it's supposed to. I mean, yeah, like, obviously the game is very female-coded in its presentation. Okay, yeah, okay.
I have no doubts that Nintendo would continue to write strong, lore-relevant women if an Inkfish man or two was added to the mix. I cannot say with absolute certainty, however.
Supposed to be opinion. Part of it is that it's supposed to be opinion-based, but wait, that big of a difference. What? It wouldn't. Why do I feel like it wouldn't make that big of a difference? It wouldn't. Like, the fact that it's opinion-based, it wouldn't make that big of a difference. Because it's opinions. It's not really going to change much of anything. Straight up sexism. I don't want to make a judgment so early, but I don't know if this would be classified as sexism. But yeah.
We agree with this sentiment. I have no doubts that Nintendo would continue to write strong, lore-relevant women if an Inkfish man or two was added to the mix.
Is this the video that VA Quill responded with, "She hates men"? I have no idea. I do not watch VA. I do not think he's a very entertaining person. and I don't think his content is very good. That is just ignoring all the supposed drama he's been a part of and the fact that everyone in the community hates him. I personally don't hate him as a person. I don't know the guy. I don't have any qualms with him. You know, he can do whatever he wants. His content is just not for me. That is just my honest opinion. I don't think his content is very good. He seems like the Splatoon version of Keemstar, not gonna lie. I don't even know what Keemstar does. What does Keemstar do? Like, I only know him for the meme scream that he has. Drama. Alright, yeah. Then I guess that would be accurate, but again, I don't know either of them that well, so I can't make a proper judgment.
Found online is having a male idol won't stop the franchise from being female-led, and I totally agree with this sentiment. I have no doubts that Nintendo would continue to write strong, lore-relevant women if an Inkfish man or two was added to the mix.
Yeah,
I cannot say
naturally.
with absolute certainty, however, that Splatoon will continue to have a female-led fandom if this were to occur.
Was the fandom ever female-led? Like, from my understanding, the two of them were either, like, equal or, like, slightly leaning towards male-led. No? Chat, am I crazy? Like, yeah, the fan base is more male-led than female-led. Where was... Is there just a part of the fan base that I'm not... Like, how many content create... How many, like, well-known, or, like, yeah, decently known content creators are there for Splatoon that are female? There's Vic Vallon, Milana, Volpixie, I guess. But Volpixie kind of doesn't play Splatoon much anymore. Yeah, I said Vic already. Who else is there? Okay, yeah, Hackerling as well. Yeah, like... I feel like I can't really name that many, like, decently or well-known or even decently well-known female Splatoon content creators. There's another, but I can't remember her name. A lot more smaller ones, yeah. 'Cause, like, if we're talking... Yeah, most are small scale, yeah. But I mean, even in that regard, I feel like there's more like smaller male. There's like smaller like male content creators than female content creators. Like even if we're looking at small scale. Jaden Animations used to play it. Okay, interesting. Rin Penrose. I don't know who that is. There's Rose of Battles as well. She does... She's kind of on the smaller side, though. Yeah, like, I feel like when it comes down to it, there's more, like, male people. Like, there's more male people. There's more, like, male creators than there is. You see more male Splat-tubers, to be honest, even if it's the niche side. Yeah, like... where is this idea? Yeah, I know I'm part of it, like, but I'm not including myself because that's kind of like, I don't know. I feel like putting myself in the equation kind of makes it look like I'm trying to skew it a little bit, but yeah, like, I feel like there isn't that many, like, female content content creators or even like female fans of the series. Because aside from the I feel like my friend group has like a majority of the females in the fan base. And even then, there's still more males in my friend group than there are females. For legal reasons, that's a joke. I know I probably only have like I probably only have like a small fraction of the female fan base in my friend group, but yeah, like even then, I don't know.
And this is why I am so strongly against the idea of a male idol. Certainty, however.
A lot of women are also not that vocal about it. Fair. I'd say it's even between male and female. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like it was either even or more or leaning slightly more towards male dominant.
However, that Splatoon will continue to have a female-led fandom if this were to occur. And this is why I am so strongly against the idea of a male idol. Panning away from Splatoon for a bit, I'd like to talk about fandom culture as a whole. The truth of the matter in fandom is that male characters will always be more popular than female ones.
What? Okay, ad.
Yeah, you got this. Okay,
I guess we are in this competitive bubble.
Let's get it going.
Yeah.
Let's get it going. Come on.
Okay, and then an ad had to show up.
No, I got there cold. There goes the universe.
By extension, I'd like to talk about fandom culture as a whole. The truth of the matter in fandom is that male characters will always be more popular than female ones.
This isn't even... Bro, this isn't even that true, though. Like, Uraraka is still one of the more popular characters. But I mean, like, even then... Like, Bakugo is, like, one of the main like, he's one of the main characters. He's literally one of the OGs in the show, so of course he's gonna be more popular, because he's had more screen time. Like, compared to Bakugo, Uraraka's a side character. But also, she's the main, she was set up as, like, the main love interest.
By extension, male characters are centric to fandom dynamics and creations, such as art and fanfictions.
What?
Fandom culture as a whole. The truth of the matter in fandom is that male characters will always be more popular than female ones. By extension, male characters are centric to fandom dynamics and creations, such as art and fanfictions. Characters are centric to popular than female ones. By extension, male characters are centric to fandom dynamics and creations, such as art and fanfictions.
No. Incorrect. That is just straight up not true. I have seen so many fandoms, and majority of the art that I see from these specific fandoms are the females. Because females are just more popular to look at. Because males, like most males, like females. And most females look up to female characters. Exactly. They appeal to the wider player base. And I'm pretty sure, like, from what I remember, majority of the games that win Game of the Year are the games where you play as a female lead, or play as a female character in some capacity, whether it be, like, just a pre-made character that's female, or you get to customize, you have custom characters. No, I feel like not really. I feel like I see like, at least for the nominees as a whole, I feel like I see that. 'Cause, like, what or maybe not. I don't really. She shows numbers.
Quick pause here to define some terms I'll be using later in the video. Slash means a relationship between two men, and fem/slash means a relationship between two women.
Why are we talking about this? Also, why not just say, like... Why not just say gay and lesbian? Why are we using terms no one uses? I've never heard of this before.
Okay, got that? Alright, let's get back to it. If you're willing to participate, I'd like you to do me a favor.
Out of all the Game of the Year winners since 2014, female lead won the game. One game, one being The Last of Us. Right. Okay.
Open up the website Archive of Our Own and go into the series tag for any franchise.
What is this? What is this Windows XP? Wait, what is this site? Huh? Wait, I'm confused.
Slash means a relationship between two women.
Did I miss something?
Okay, got that? Alright, let's get back to it. If you're willing to participate,
It's a fanfiction website?
I'd like you to do me a favor. Open up the website Archive of Our Own and go into the series tag for any franchise. Your only caveat...
Why this site specifically? Like, I've never heard of that site. Is this a popular site? 'Cause I don't look at fanfictions at all. No, I'm just like, you don't want to use just one site. No, I agree, but I'm just asking, is this site specifically, like, is this like a big site, or is this like a well-known site? I've never heard of it. I would have checked DeviantArt for that. Yeah. I mean, I feel like but like, even then, I feel like you'd look at more than DeviantArt. Got no clue. Okay, most people are saying that they don't know what this site, so I'm assuming it's not well known. Okay.
Archive of Our Own and go into the series tag for any franchise. Your only caveat is that this franchise must have both male and female characters. The more popular the franchise...
I forgot to say this, but try to pick something with an evenish split between male-female characters, so avoid something like mouthwashing, for example.
The better. Now go over to the right side where the filters are. Open up the drop-downs for both pairings and characters. These options represent the most commonly written about entities in your fandom. What do you see? A lot of men, right?
But this isn't... This... I feel like even if you do a Google search, you'd see... Wait, hang on. Let me... Female, 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 female and male, female and male. Can't tell if that's a male or female. That looks female. Female. I don't know what that is. Female. That's male. Okay. Female. 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 Like, I'm seeing more female art here than male art. Look, I don't play Genshin. I was going by the look. He looked like a girl. I don't play Genshin. My fault.
How far down is the first woman? Are there any fem/pairings in the filters list at all? And if there are, what's the numerical difference between the most popular /pairing and the most popular fem/pairing?
What does this have to do with anything,
Let's look at what I consider to be
though?
my main fandom, Cookie Run, for another example.
What does this have to do with anything? Yeah, like, she's not proving anything. Like, okay, this one niche website has more male than female. What about everywhere else? What about DeviantArt? What about Twitter? ArtStation? What is Cookie Run? It's a mobile game. I don't know exactly what type of game it is. I don't play it. I've never seen any gameplay of it. I just know it's a mobile game. It's a gacha game. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
This screenshot was taken on October 2nd, 2024.
Also, why are we looking at fanfics? Like, what does this have to do with, like, the fan bases being more male dominant? Like, if anything, wouldn't fan fictions about men mean that there would be more females writing it? Is that wrong? Like, 1% of the fandom participate in fanfics. It's not accurate data. Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, in general, if you're seeing predominantly male fanfiction, would it not mean that it would be mostly females writing it? Because I don't know any guys. Like, I feel like a guy, at least from my perspective, I feel like a guy would be more interested in writing about the females and vice versa. Is that a hot take? Am I missing something? Well, it's not a hot take. Yeah, I don't think it's a hot take. I feel like I find that to just be purely logical, right? Like, vast majority of the male-to-male romance have more popular audience with women. Yeah, like, I just find that to just be purely logical. Like, majority of females like men. Majority. Like, that's just how it is. And I feel like whatever small percentage makes fanfics and whatever percentage makes fan art, if it's mainly about guys, it would mean that the majority of that specific side of the fandom would be female. I don't think this is a case of, like, I feel like this is not an accurate conclusion to make from these results. I feel like you have it completely backwards.
The most popular slash pairing is Espressalin, which has 1,115 fics. The most
I think the creator wants more female-female fanfics. Fine. Then write them yourself. Like, if you want more female-female fanfics, write them yourself. You know? Like, she explains further. Okay.
popular fem/slash pairing, by comparison, is Seamoon, which has 275 fics. That's a difference of 840 fics. But Espressalin has a lot more fics than any other pairing, regardless of gender. So if we take the second most popular slash pairing, Pure Cacao, which has 266 fics, Seamoon does trump it, which I honestly hadn't expected, but only by 9 fics. And once we expand all the filters to see all the other popular ships, we'll find that it is the only fem/slash pairing on the list. And
okay, yeah, I'm seeing the bias now. She still doesn't tell us anything about her source. Yeah, like, she's just expecting us to know what this site is about. But, like, the fact that she specifically pointed out the fem/slash pairing, like, okay, yeah. I'm seeing a bit of bias here.
Ships, we'll find that it is the only fem/slash pairing on the list. And for those of you saying that we'll still have more female idols than male idols, so it's weird to think they'll steal all the attention, allow me to introduce you to another series, Project Sekai Colorful Stage. Excluding the Vocaloids, this series had
Also, note the fact that instead of there being only one pink highlighted section, there were 2 highlighted pink sections. Well, she's specifically talking about, like, lesbian relationships. The other ones were hetero.
Has 16 original female characters and 4 original male characters. What do you think will happen when we look under the series tag on AO3? Well, would you look at that? The characters with the most fics are the 4 male characters.
Yeah, because most females like males. That is how it is. Is my logic not sound? It would be a female-led fandom. It wouldn't be a female-led fandom if the females got more results. I'm not even talking about that. I'm just saying, like, women... What am I trying... How many fanfics are on Big Man? I need to know. I have no idea. But, like, this is what I'm saying. Like, like, I feel like if the men are getting more attention, that would mean the fan base consists of mainly girls. Right? That's my logic behind it. Because vast majority of women like men. So of course they'd want to spend more time with the male characters.
And the most popular ships are the male characters paired with each other, even though the franchise has 4 times as many women. Guess it doesn't take a lot to stir the pot, huh? This isn't to say that I think one male idol will change things this significantly. What I aim to say is, as it stands, male characters have more potency than female characters. Say that I think one male idol will change things this significantly. What I aim to say is, as it stands, male characters have more potency than female characters.
No. Incorrect. Incorrect. That is not true. Star Wars, Princess Leia is probably more popular than Luke Skywalker. I see more people who like Princess Leia, who have Princess Leia as their favorite Star Wars character than Luke Skywalker. It doesn't people don't care what gender a character is. They just want a well-written character. Darth Vader is probably more popular than all of them. But my point is the fact that Leia could potentially beat out Luke Skywalker, the main character of the original trilogy. I don't think gender has anything to do with it. I think when it comes down to it, people just want a well-written character. They can be male, female, trans, bi, whatever. As long as they're a well-written character. I think if they introduce a character and they're not well-written, they are not going to like them. We like Off the Hook because they are well written. Exactly, yeah. It's not because that they're two females and one of them might be male-gazy in her design. It's because they're well written. I don't even think their popularity really soared until Octo Expansion, when they actually fleshed out their characters. And then, Side Order came along and reduced them to just fan service, and I don't think people liked that. I mean, I'm sure the people that were engaged in the ship and got the payoff were happy about it, but I think vast majority of people did not like the way Off the Hook was written in Side Order. Nobody gave a crap about Off the Hook as characters until Octo Expansion. Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter if the character's male or female, they have to have a well-written story. I like them in Side Order. I'm talking like vast majority of people. Like, from what I understand, people didn't like the story as a whole. They didn't like the way Off the Hook was written. I don't like the way Off the Hook was written. I feel like they kind of felt disconnected from everything that was going on because of the way they were written. But Big Man at the beginning wasn't loved because he was a man, but because he looked so innocent and goofy. Exactly. Like, again, going back to Star Wars, like, Luke Skywalker was a fan favorite character in the originals. People did not like him in the sequels because he was badly written. I feel like it was a natural progression of their character arcs. Okay, fine. You're entitled to that opinion. I'm just saying, it felt out of character of them to be so hyper-fixated on each other when there was a literal threat that could destroy the world. When in Octo Expansion, they were actually paying attention and trying to help out 8, even when they didn't know that there was a world threat. That's just my take. I'm sure they would have gotten closer as characters over time. I'm not saying that's the issue. My issue is just that they felt disconnected. They felt like they were just in their own world and not actually paying attention to what's going on around them. That's just my opinion.
One Inkfish idol won't kill me or anyone else, but I do think it will be enough to feel a shift. Who knows what 2 or 3 would do? I'm also not saying that fanfiction writing trends are direct mirrors to what is experienced on other websites.
So then why don't you just do... What? I'm so confused. If you know it's not accurate, why not look at other things aside from fanfics? Why not look at fan art? Look at Discord servers and see what the male to female ratios are on those. What? Hello, Joe, welcome. Like, you're literally admitting that your source isn't accurate, so why don't you look at other sources? This is so biased.
And in other fan work mediums. Fanfiction is just the easiest to obtain data from, since
it's not, though.
Be enough to feel a shift. Who knows what 2 or 3 would do? I'm also not saying that fanfiction writing trends are direct mirrors to what is experienced on other websites, and in other fan work mediums. Fanfiction is just the easiest to obtain data from, since AO3 doesn't use algorithms to push content that it thinks you'll like to the top by default.
Go in a couple Discord servers, look at the male to female ratio. Or better yet, go on Blue Sky. Blue Sky also doesn't have an algorithm, and it's chock full of fan art creators and fanfiction creators for Splatoon. This just comes off as lazy to me. Like, legitimately, this just feels like it's either lazy or it's targeted to help her prove her point. That's what I'm getting from this.
That, coupled with the fact that there are far fewer popular fanfiction hosting websites than there are art hosting websites, makes data obtained from it all the more quote-unquote accurate.
Also, what's the hyperfixation on fanfiction? Like, why are you treating fanfiction as this whole, like, end-all be-all of whether a fan base is male-oriented or female-oriented in fandoms? Like, there's more to a fandom than just fanfiction. Like, you even pointed it out yourself. Like, there's fan art. There's the casual side of the game, the players. There's the casual players. There's the competitive players. There's the theories, the theorists. There's the lore experts, artists. Yeah, I mentioned artists. Why the obsession with fanfic? Like, if you wanted to make a video talking about how there's less lesbian fanfictions, then make a video about that. Don't try to disguise it as, oh, the fandom is not going to be female oriented anymore because males are more dominant than females in the fanfiction community. Like, okay, but the community is not all full of fanfiction writers.
And it's not just Project Sekai where fans have gone the extra mile to show just how important men are to them. At a shareholders meeting in June 2023, someone complained at length about how women in the Splatoon franchise are treated more favorably than men.
At Nintendo's annual shareholder meeting, a Splatoon fan complained directly to the company president about preferable treatment of girl Inkling Octolings in Splatoon 3, so causing a lot of drama on Japanese Twitter. It's causing a lot of drama on the Japanese Twitter. And most fanfictions on Splatoon are people using their OCs anyway. Yeah, exactly. Like, I am of the opinion, like, yes, in canon, there is more male than female characters. That is true. But I am of the opinion that Splatoon is made for everyone. Like, it doesn't lean one way or the other. That's why you can customize your character. That is the whole appeal. You can be either male or female. Agent 3, or Captain 3, Agent 4, Agent 8, Neo 3, they can either be male or female. It's up to the player to decide. And I think that is actually what the game is trying to do.
The length of this discussion...
Like, the whole point of it is to basically interject yourself into Splatoon. Whether you be male, female, trans, like, whatever you want to be.
The Splatoon franchise are treated more favorably than men. The length of this discussion was apparently so great that they...
Apparently they were talking for quite a while, and Furukawa, company president, eventually had to interrupt to say that their question was too long. The person kept going. In the end, Furukawa's response was simply, "Thanks for your opinion."
They were told that they were talking...
Do you think the creator of the video will explode if the next agent is male? Probably. But that's not going to happen. Because every single Splatoon game, the agent, like, the gender of the agent is up to the player to decide. Whether they are canonly male or canonly female doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, it's up to the player to decide what the gender of the character is. Like, even in the games... even in the games that had Captain 3 appear, like Octo Expansion and Return of the Mammalians, they let the player decide because Captain 3 was the original player character, and they wanted to keep that customization. And I think that was very smart of them. I like the fact that you can still decide even when you're not playing as the character. And that just further proves that Nintendo's true intent was to have the player be able to interject themselves into the story. Now, I'm not saying that's what everyone does. I personally am not someone who interjects myself into stories. I don't like the idea of interjecting myself into stories. That's just not how I like telling stories, or that's not how I like looking at stories, or, yeah, consuming stories. But I'd say the vast majority of people in the Splatoon community do interject themselves into the game when they make their player character, because that is the whole point. That is what an avatar character is meant to do. If you want the agents to be male, do it. Doesn't matter if they're portrayed as female in most of the official art. It's your choice.
For too long, and the meeting had to move on. In summation, someone who has put significant money into Nintendo's pockets used their privilege to ask directly about men in Splatoon. I don't think I've ever seen a woman do this, despite just how many games make you play as men.
Wait. How... Do you know that the person who was asking the question was male? Because looking at the tweets, they didn't specifically say. Yeah, they just say a Splatoon fan. He was a man? Okay. Okay,
About how
fair
women in
enough
the
then.
Splatoon franchise are treated more favorably than men. The length
If I'm just saying, like, in these two tweets, they don't specifically say whether they were male or female. But if it was confirmed somewhere that they were male, then okay, fair enough.
of this discussion was apparently so great that they were told that they were talking for too long and the meeting had to move on. In summation, someone who has put significant money into Nintendo's pockets used their privilege to ask directly about men in Splatoon. I don't think I've ever seen a woman do this, despite just how many games make you play as men or present women as goals instead of characters.
Do you think they watch movies? Do you think they've seen Hollywood? Do you think they've seen Hollywood culture within the last like 5 to 10 years? What do you mean you don't see women push to have more female? Have you not seen Hollywood culture? Have you not seen Disney? I'm sorry, I shouldn't be laughing. But it's just funny to me as someone who has like been keeping up with Star Wars and seeing women saying that we need more women representation in Star Wars, and this being like this whole big thing. I mean, like, just Disney in general is saying that we need more female representation in movies. And I'm just sitting here listening to this person say, we've never seen females complain about there not being enough female representation. And I'm just sitting there like, but we have, though. It's literally, like, Hollywood has literally been putting that in our faces for, like, the past 5 to 10 years. Literally, the Mario movie with Peach being... Yeah, exactly. Like, they didn't make Peach a damsel in distress in the movie. They made it Luigi.
For what it's worth, I don't believe that people who think men are underrepresented in Splatoon are a large portion of the fandom. Nor do I think it's right to discredit those who do make fem/slash works in fandoms like Project Sekai. But what I do want to say is that men are the ones being dealt better hands, getting the fan art and the long-form fan fictions and the art pieces from people who aren't even in the fandom at large.
Yeah, because females like males. And again, why are we only looking at fan fiction? Like, look at the art community. There's way more females in fan art than there are males. Like, let's look at Splatoon fan art. Female, 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 female. That's male. Male, female. Oh, that's a cute design. Because this buff inkling, I have no idea. But yeah, female, female, female. That's human pearl for some reason. Female, female. That's official art. Female, female. Is that male or female? That's male. Female, female. Female, female. That's male and female. Like, this is all female. Where's this idea that males are getting more attention coming from? Or like...
That's just the way things are in fandom. But what I do want to say is that men are the ones being dealt better hands, getting the fan art and the long-form fan fictions and the art pieces from people who aren't even in the fandom at large. That's just the way things are in fandom.
You know what this is? This is someone who isn't getting a specific thing they want. So they're trying to paint this as a huge cultural issue so they can get what they want. That's how I'm reading this right now. With the hyperfixation on fan fiction and like the female to female relationships. The fact that she's like basically saying that males are always the ones that get more attention when that only applies in the fan fiction. Like literally everywhere else, it's like every other creator, it's like male, female. Also, how's the distribution of higher positions in the community between women and men? What do you mean? I don't think I understand that question.
With all this evidence that shows just how much people care about men, you might be asking why Big Man, being a male idol, didn't cause much of a stir.
For a fandom to be led, there has to be representatives, right? Yeah, naturally. There would always have to be representatives.
I believe this mostly hinges on the fact that he isn't humanoid, even though Splatoon is a series of... With all this evidence that shows just how much people care about men, you might be asking why Big Man, being a male idol, didn't cause much of a stir. I believe this mostly hinges on the fact that he isn't humanoid, even though...
No. It hinges on the fact that his character writing was garbage. It hinges on the fact that he wasn't given any screen time. Him being humanoid has nothing to do with it. People like Chewbacca. There's a dedicated fan base of Chewbacca. Also, he's the only male idol. Well, I mean, even then, like, yeah. But I mean, even then, it doesn't matter because his character writing was trash. I'm sorry, but he was just written horribly. In the story mode specifically. Which is what the vast majority of the Splatoon fanbase would be looking at. Because, like, that's just the fact of the matter. I know that there is, like, character dialogue between them during the news that fleshes out their character. But vast majority of people are not going to pay attention to that because they just want to play the game. And even then, the newscasts don't even give much of anything in terms of backstory or character. I would say the most personality you get from the idols is the official art.
Splatoon is a series of sea creatures. Their human-esque proportions make it easy to see them in human dynamics. Big Man doesn't...
Wait, hold on, what?
Being a male idol didn't cause much of a stir. I believe this mostly hinges on the fact that he isn't humanoid. Even though Splatoon is a series of sea creatures, their human-esque proportions make it easy to see them in human dynamics. Big Man doesn't fit in a human-inspired society.
Wait.
Even though Splatoon is a series of sea creatures, their human-esque proportions make it easy to see them in human dynamics.
What? Wait.
Sea creature mostly hinges on the fact that he isn't humanoid. Even though Splatoon is a series of sea creatures, their human-esque proportions make it easy to see them in human dynamics.
Their human proportions make it easy to see them in human dynamics. It means interact socially as humans. I feel like what makes a character easy to see in human interactions is if they're written like a human. Like, like look at Undertale. There's only one quote-unquote human in that entire game. Yet every character feels human because they're written with their own personalities and flair. Like, you know, Sans? Everyone loves Sans. Everyone loves Undyne. Everyone loves Flowey. Flowey is a stinking flower, an actual flower, and he's fun to write and make art and stories out of. I mean, sure, a character... He's fun to beat up. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm sure a character being more humanoid might help. But at the end of the day, the character has to be written like an actual character. If you want to imagine, like, If you want to imagine a character for like a story, the first thing that you want to do is figure out what their likes and dislikes are, what they are as a person, or like who they are as a person. What are their beliefs? This is just basic character writing. And I know this because I am a character writer myself. The design of a character is just the icing on the cake. If you want a well-liked character that people will make art and fan fiction on, you need to make a well-written character. Like, look at One Punch Man. The art for the comics, for the original manga of One Punch Man was garbage. The art was terrible. But the story and the characters were so much fun to read about. And now, the thing has a successful anime. And, you know, if Big Man was humanoid, he would still be crap. And he would be even worse because he has no goofy proportions. Exactly. Like, the fact that he is a atomically correct manta ray, that is literally his whole appeal. His whole appeal is his animations. No one cares about him as a character. They just think his design is cool.
Big Man doesn't fit in a human-inspired society. I mean, he doesn't even fit in the amiibo box at the plaza. I'm pretty sure that vocal quirk of his isn't doing him any favors either.
That vocal quirk is literally one of the best sounds in the Splatoon series. What do you mean? Literally everyone loves Big Man's voice.
At the end of the day, the thing about Splatoon is that it does have men. Quite a few men, in fact. It's just Splatoon is the only franchise I can think of that doesn't have said men as the poster characters for its fandom.
Portal, Metroid, Until Dawn, Overwatch. Like, hello?
You could argue that a lot of male Splatoon characters don't have a
Not necessarily Metroid because the pilot is a female, but still there is also other options. Well, no. she was specifically saying, like,
Splatoon is the only men. Quite a few men, in fact. It's just Splatoon is the only franchise I can think of that doesn't have said men as the poster characters for its fandom.
Splatoon is the only franchise that I can think of that doesn't have men as the poster characters for its fandom. Samus is female. She is the poster character of the series. Yeah. And like, it's not even accurate to say that Splatoon doesn't have men as the poster character. Like, every single box art for the Splatoon games has one female, one male on it. It's even, because that's the whole point. It's supposed to be for both. It doesn't sway one way or the other. Like, yes, Zelda because we all know the main character is Zelda. Well, I mean, even the fact that Zelda's name is on the series and not Link just says a lot too. Like, yes, Link might be the face of The Legend of Zelda, but Zelda is the literal name of the franchise. Zelda literally got her own game recently. Zelda was always, at the very least, the secondary main character. Half the time she doesn't even act as the damsel in distress. Doesn't Peach have her own games? Yes. She got one recently, like last year, in 2024. Now, to be fair, you know, in most Mario games, and like 99% of them, Mario is the face. That is true. But to me, to say that you can't think of any other game besides Splatoon that has females as the poster face for the franchise, you're one of two things. You either don't play a lot of video games, to the point where I question why you're even so, like, why you even feel so strongly about this in the first place, or you're intentionally, or you're just straight up lying because you don't want to admit that there's other games out there that have females as the lead. What about Animal Crossing? Who's the face? And by who is it led? Isabelle. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's Isabelle and Tom Nook, for the most part. And even then, I'd argue when you think of Animal Crossing, you don't even think of Tom Nook. Like, your first thought would most likely be Isabelle. I do because she's in Smash. Yeah, fair enough. But it's like, even then, there's like, you know, there's still like a bunch of other franchises that have female leads where you play as a female. And like, that's what I'm saying. She either doesn't play a lot of video games or she's just lying, and she does know other franchises but doesn't want to say it so she can further prove her point. Or is it more even? I mean, I'm not a hardcore Animal Crossing fan, so I couldn't tell you, but yeah. Usually when I think of Animal Crossing, I think of Isabelle.
You could argue that a lot of male Splatoon characters don't have any personality, but there's nothing stopping you from making your own backstories for them or further fleshing them out.
Huh?
You could argue that a lot of male Splatoon characters don't have any personality, but there's nothing stopping you from making your own backstories for them or further fleshing them out.
Yeah, you're right. You make your own characters. And sure, a lot of the official characters don't have much backstory, like the other Splat bands. And yes, people do give them their own stories and flesh them out. But that can go both ways. It can go for both the males and the females. What is this argument? Like, yes, the fact that the male characters don't have a lot of personality doesn't stop us from giving them their own backstories and fleshing them out. But that also doesn't stop you from doing the same thing with the female characters. So what's the issue here?
I've literally done that myself with a certain Paper Mario character.
This guy is relevant for about 10 minutes, but that didn't stop me. Okay.
That's not even to mention the Splatoon manga, Koroika, which has lots of male characters, or the bands that produce the in-game music.
You do know that with literally every male character, there is a female to go along with them. Like, I don't think, from what little I've seen of the manga, I don't think there is any Splatoon team that is all males. From what I understand, it's 2 males, 2 females. Every time. I only read up to the Akuro expansion arc. So I don't know if that's still the formula they're going by. But from what I read, it's always been 2 males, 2 females on the teams. Every time. That's always how it's been.
Which has lots of male characters, or the bands that produce the in-game music. If you search splat bands on Google, it won't take you long at all to find fan art of men. If you're curious as to what a male inkfish, it won't take you long at all to find fan art of men.
Isn't this a female? Also, the manga is crap. Apparently, one of the most reoccurring jokes is the main character being naked. Yeah, and also pulling people's pants down. But yeah, isn't this a female? I don't know the genders of these other characters, but I'm pretty sure that's a female. They look pretty feminine to me. I don't know.
If you're curious as to what a male inkfish idol might look like, you needn't look further than H2O and Sashimori, which have
Look at Three Horn Circus art cover.
Lionel and Paul respectively, find fan art of men. If you're curious as to what a male inkfish idol might look like, you needn't look further than H2O and Sashimori, which have Lionel and Paul respectively, who are both octolings.
A splat band is not an idol. Those are two different sects in the Splatoon universe. This person doesn't know what they're talking about, do they? Wow. Like, idols are supposed to be a step above the other splat bands. Right? Am I wrong? Bro, I don't actually care about the bands, I just want to listen to their music. Well, if you want to listen to their music, you do care about the bands in some capacity. But my point is, I don't think this is an accurate representation of what a male idol would look like. I mean, their faces. Okay, fair enough. But yeah, like, I don't think these are accurate representations of what male idols would look like, because idols in Splatoon are just more sophisticated than this. Like, this is... Like, this feels less expensive, you know what I mean? Like, idols are a lot more expensive than other splat bands. This isn't expensive. Where's the art book for Prototype S3 idols? In Japan.
A male idol would probably look something like that. Look,
I mean, maybe, to an extent. But again, idols are a lot more expensive than this. Like, I don't think you'd see Shiver or Fry pulling up to a performance dressed in something like this. This is way too casual for idols.
Mori, which have Lionel and Paul respectively, who are both octolings. A male idol would probably look something like that. Look, I get it. This has turned into a rant. You could call this gatekeeping, or say that I'm trying to keep some sort of fandom purity culture.
Oh no, you are. You definitely are. But I mean, like this is literally the definition of gatekeeping. Like, you're refusing to look at any other stats besides fanfiction sites. One fanfiction site that doesn't even seem to be that big. You refuse to acknowledge the other parts of the fandom or use literally any other social media website when looking at numbers. You literally cherry-picked one site to make your argument, to prove your point. This is the literal definition of gatekeeping.
Call this gatekeeping, or say that I'm trying to keep some sort of fandom purity culture. But Splatoon is the only franchise where I can go out into the main tags on any website and find not just women, but women who are into other women, without
What?
any website. Splatoon is the only franchise where I can go out into the main tags on any website and find not just women, but women who are into other women, without having to comb through the trenches and apply tons of filters to my searches.
So you just want Splatoon to consist of your ideology and your ideology alone. Got it.
It's so refreshing to look into a fandom and see so much content where you can see yourself. To see so many headcanons and interpretations that make you feel at home.
Yeah, that's literally the whole point of Splatoon. It's not just about women, it's about everyone. There is content for everyone, including males. That is the whole point. Like, you're literally living in your own bubble with this. You're literally just trying to push your own ideology onto this franchise. That is exactly what you're doing.
It's so nice to see women in a game with this large of a fan base who aren't thought of as lesser, or as accessories to men.
Star Wars, Princess Leia, Ahsoka, Padme, Marvel, you got Black Widow, you got you got Captain Marvel, you got the Wasp. You have so many strong females in Marvel and Star Wars. If you want to go to video games, there's Sonic. Like, I would say Mario as well to some extent, because of just the vast amount of franchises and characters that Mario has. You have Metroid, you have Legend of Zelda, Until Dawn, Portal. Like, there's so many games with big fandoms that doesn't treat women as an accessory.
As nothing more than romantic interests to pursue. To see women as fully fleshed characters with thought-out pasts, presents, and futures. Is it really so greedy to just want one thing? To want one franchise to remain for women?
I swear Until Dawn and further games from the same devs are so good.
Thought out pasts, presents, and futures. Is it really so greedy to just want one thing? To want one franchise to remain for women? For myself? I really don't think it is.
Here's the issue. Like, here's the thing. Yes, Splatoon is a great game. It's an amazing game, and more people should play it. So why would you want to limit that by literally being like, oh no, men can't be in this game because this game is female coded, and one man would be a detriment to that. One male idol is not going to change the perception of the game. One male idol is not going to change the coding of the game. The game is always going to be female oriented. You literally acknowledge this yourself. Like, what? I don't understand all these like people talking about inclusion and wanting things for the other gender. It's like, and talking about equity and whatnot. Like, true equality is holding everyone to the same standards, no matter what gender you are, what race you are. And like, I could say the same thing for Star Wars as well. Like, as a Star Wars fan, the people have been, like, I've been seeing it happen. They're like constantly trying to push Star Wars to be more for women and to constantly alienate the men. And like, if I came out and said like, is it so selfish to ask to just keep Star Wars for men? If I said something like that, I would be canceled. It's like, we're not making equality, we're shifting the force of power. One man idol isn't going to change the fact that the game will always be seen as for the younger audience anyway. Hard gamers are not going to be interested with the aesthetics. Exactly. It's like, at the end of the day, it's not gonna matter. And like I said at the beginning, like, this is, from what I've seen, the fan base is either even or leaning more towards men anyway. So you saying that it's more female oriented just isn't correct. Hard gamers being mostly composed of men in their 20s. Yeah, exactly. I guarantee you, any casual Splatoon fanbase members, the only female content creator that they're going to know of is Vic. That's it. All the other content creators are going to think of as male. It doesn't matter. A game will always have female fans. A game will always have male fans. And one male idol is not going to change that. Like, to me, this just sounds like you're just trying to push your own agenda, and that you just want the fan base and the game to adopt your own ideology, and you're not actually concerned about the direction of the game. Because if you know Nintendo, you will know that they do not cave to fans. They don't. They don't. Everything they make with their own vision. If they want to introduce a male idol into Splatoon, they want to do it because they want to. Not because the fans were complaining about there not being any males in the game. They don't care about that. Nintendo is going to do what they want to do. Like, if anything, introducing more male characters into the game would make the game more healthy. Because, like, if anything, it would attract more females to the game if they make like a nice male character design. Majority of females are gonna want that. Like, now I know why they talk so much about fanfics. Why? Look at their channel description. I'm Megan. I'm a fandom-centric YouTuber who currently is focused on making Cookie Run, Danganronpa, and other fandom content. I want to bring something original to the YouTube scene with content like character analysis and lore explainers. I don't get it. They're focusing about fanfic because they are fanfic-centric. Okay. Okay, fair enough. But if that is the point of the video, they even have a tutorial video on how to write fanfic. Yeah, I caught a glimpse of that. But if that's the point of the video, make it the point of the video. Don't be like, oh, this is going to ruin the game as a whole. Like, don't clump in fan art and all this other stuff into it if your whole point is that you want lesbian fanfiction. Like, you seem to be a competent fanfic writer. If you want it so bad, write it yourself. You know? Like, don't try to push your ideology onto other people that might want something different. Everyone's wants and opinions are valid, and you shouldn't silence anyone for it. Now, if the opinion is stupid, you also have the right to point out that the opinion is stupid. But at the very least, provide a competent explanation as to why the opinion is stupid. They just saw one side and they literally did a generalization. Exactly. Well, no, you know, you want to know, like I was saying before, they have an ideology and an agenda that they want to push, and that's why they're generalizing it like this, because they want it to seem like more of an issue or more important than it actually is. Because they know if they just talked about the fanfic, no one's gonna care. Because fanfiction is only a very small percentage of the community. So they need to hype it up to be this big thing in order to get any kind of attention. That is just their tactic. That is what they have to do in order to try to push their agenda. They have to make the issue seem bigger than it actually is. That is just the truth of it. I've seen it. I've seen it so many times in the past. Crazy how the React took took 1 hour 35 minutes. Hey man, I guess I just have a lot to say.